Hey guys, David Patrick Green here, hackhollywood.com, hackbollywood.in. Again, the one thing I'm going to ask you is please subscribe to my channel so we can get those YouTube algorithms going. Okay, one of the best video ideas I've had in a long time today. And by the way, I'm using the onboard, or not the onboard, I'm using the headphone mic, so I'm crossing my fingers that it's not all bouncy and windy. But anyway, what are you going to do? And let me know what you think of the sound. So today's video is how to achieve perfection in your acting and also in any type of meeting situation, presentation situation. Okay, the secret to perfection in auditions is imperfection. What, David? What are you talking about? I don't even understand what you are talking about. Okay, so today, I'm just going to tell you a little story that'll illustrate my point. Today, my partner, who was preparing for an interview during the COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak in my condo, was getting kind of panicky because I was still in the unit, and I was like, I'm gonna take a shower. And she's like, what are you talking about? I have an interview in like 10 minutes. Are you gonna be out of here? And, you know, I started to protest because that's what I do, right? I have all these concepts about why things will be better if you relax and etc. And then it just dawned on me, like I started to think about it in terms of acting terms, what I was gonna say to her. And I didn't say it, I held off. But what occurred to me was that if you are in, like I was thinking, okay, if you're auditioning, and let's say you're in a casting office, or if you're in your own house. In fact, let's just say in your own house, okay, because it applies much better. Everybody is going to be working from home now. Everybody is going to be doing self-tapes from now on. It's kind of inevitable. It's a thing. That's where we are, right? And it's probably not going back, because if people are able to cast projects out of without paying for a casting office, etc., then why wouldn't they just keep doing it, right? So I don't see us going back to the way things were. It's just not going to likely happen. So I was thinking, hey, what if we did all of our self-tapes and everything at home? You can set up the lighting, you can set up a camera, sound, all of that stuff, and it can be perfect. But what you can't control is if you're working in a home environment that there won't be other people or things, noises, etc. around. And how cute would it be if you're doing an audition, let's say it's a military part, or I was just thinking, I audition for generals a lot. Imagine if I'm auditioning for some general, the head of NORAD, and I've got a call coming in for the president, which I've actually had auditions and booked parts where I actually had to talk to the president. He was on the phone, and I hand it, then I take the call, then I pass it over to the president, or I pass it over to the other general and say, sir, it's the president. And I mean, imagine if your cute little dog walked into the shot, right? Most of us instinctually would panic and be like, oh, I got to retape that, and oh, this is no good. And if you think about it, I actually think the opposite is true, because what makes us perfect is our humanity. Got some weird hair going on. What makes us perfect is our humanity, and our humanity we all know is imperfections. That's why when someone makes a mistake, when they're doing a presentation, like it could be in the Oscars, if somebody makes a mistake, and then they panic and get nervous about it, then we're like, ugh, we feel uneasy and nervous too. But if they make the mistake and then they just totally own it, we love them for it, because our instinct is, uh-oh, they've made a mistake. What are they going to do, right? And we have this fear they're going to make a big deal out of it, try to have a redo, but there really are no redos in life. You could do something over, but it's not the same as it was going to be the time that you were doing it when the mistake happened. So rather than try and go for redos, try and just keep it real, and whatever happens, you just deal with it. Because guess what? In the future, in this reality of people living and working amongst one another and not having control over people coming and going into their auditions, into their presentations, into whatever it is. In this world, that world is going to be recreated in the real world, in the fictional entertainment world, because it's so believable, right? So we're going to see more and more of that. And that's really not my point, but it's going to happen, which will make what I'm saying even more beneficial. So if you have a dog and it walks into the shot, no matter what it is you're doing, then why not use it, right? Just like if you're in a casting office and someone's, chewing something, or if they say the wrong word, I mean, what are you going to do? If they say a word to you and your line is another word back, but you've got to use the word they gave you, right? Even if they say, corn chips when it was supposed to be crackers, and you have to, like, do you want any corn chips? But they were supposed to say, do you want any crackers? You can't go, no, I don't want any crackers, because it's going to look stupid and it's going to indicate that you're just trying to do the performance the way that you wanted to do it rather than living in the moment and dealing with what's happening. So if a dog walks into the shot, just like if a dog walks into the Oscars, people are just going to have to deal with it. So I recommend that you deal with it, just like I recommended to my partner, that if I was still around, and I never actually said this, but what I would have said is, if I am still around when the call takes place and I have to walk across, behind your back, and this person who is interviewing sees me, well, what are you going to do? Pretend it didn't happen? Or do you go, oh, by the way, this is my fiance, David. And I go, hi. And they go, oh, hi, David. Nice to meet you. And we have this nice little moment. And guess what that does, guys? And this is really the point of all this, is it shows the person's humanity. It makes them likable. It makes you likable because they feel a connection to your real life rather than trying to create this sort of facade of real life, which is what a lot of actors get caught up in. And the irony is that people who are hiring actors, who are auditioning actors, are not looking for perfection. They're looking for a person. And shit happens to people. And shit happens in auditions, right? So if your boyfriend, your partner, your fiance, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your dog, or your child shows up, use them, because they're actually going to make your performance, your audition, whatever it is you're doing, better, not worse. So the perfection is in the imperfection of being a human. That's it, guys. That's really all I've got. The perfection you have when you're doing something is in your imperfection as a person, because that's how they get to know you. And when they get to know you, they naturally have a feeling towards you. It can be like, dislike, it doesn't matter. They need to have a feeling for you. When you're trying to do something a certain way and you're all uptight about it, people can see that. They can see it's a fake put on performance. But when you are stuck in the real world and you're a general and stuff's happening, who knows how it's going to go? You just have to deal with it. You're like, yes, hello? Oh, yes, right away. Sir, it's the president. If that's the way it goes, or, I'm expecting a call from the president. Yes, sir. 1 second, sir. It's the president. Whatever, So there it is, guys. Embrace the reality of this whole thing that we're going through, because guess what? If you had sort of taken this approach to begin with, like, things screw up, people aren't going to be paying attention half the time. Like, if somebody's not paying attention to you, right, and you can tell, then I'm going to maybe just start coughing in the middle of the audition, because what would be the harm? Because they're not paying attention, so it's not like they're going to miss anything. If you can get their attention like have a coughing fit, because then they're going to look up and go, what is going on? And then you can kind of wink at them and go, you know, hey, I'm here to audition for you. So if you're not paying attention, there's not much point in me, you know, going any further. So think about this stuff, guys. Be an imperfect human, and your auditions will be perfection. Talk to you soon.